Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Hey, What's on Tap podcast, once again, back in your ears, spewing some tasty beer knowledge. Just spitting the beer truth in all the ways it can be spat.
That sounded kinky.
It did, and probably slightly unhygienic. So welcome once again. I am Stefan, and the feminine voice you heard today is Karin, once again joining us. Welcome back.
Thank you.
For your third consecutive episode.
Yeah, I'm getting good at this now.
You are. I'm looking forward to today because, like the last episode, I've been traveling, and I got to go to the People's Republic of China, where they are really exploring the craft beer movement. I was in Shanghai for a few days, and I really hit as many beer places as I could get to in 2 days. So I went to Stone Brewery, opened a tap room, which is fairly interesting, and then I made it over to Liquid Laundry, which is a microbrewery and also a restaurant and cocktail bar. It was absolutely lovely. If you get a chance to go there, I would highly recommend checking out both of those places. And that was one evening. And then the next evening, I checked out the Bottle Shop. I think is what it was called. We'll figure it out later.
Bottle Shop,
yeah. It was really good. They had a huge selection of beers from Europe, including a ton of Belgian stuff, but a huge, huge selection. Probably the most Tool beers I've ever seen. It is even more than I've seen inside the Tool Bruce bottle shop area. It was like rows and rows of stuff. But I also found a couple of beers there. One from Taste Room and then one from Jing-A. Now, Jing-A might sound familiar because it's been at MBCC. Yeah, okay. I always mix up those letters. Right. Yeah. I tried... No. It wasn't NBC. It was Brewskiville last year is where I tried them. Yes. So Brewskiville, I tried them, and they had really, really good stuff. And so when I went to China, I was on the lookout for Chinese beers in particular. Surprisingly, had a really hard time finding them. There was not a lot of Chinese beers on the store shelves, but there were a ton of European beers, including Omnipolo and Buxton and all of your Danish Westmalas and Duvels and things like that, and then your Swedish contingents, and they're actually like Brewski and
yeah, but that stuff's probably exotic to the Chinese customer.
For them,
yeah.
it is exotic. And then I met this one guy who actually was a nano brewer, and he had just released his first beer on the market, and I just happened to sit down and talk with him about the Chinese beer market, and we started talking about the fact that they're trying to introduce IPAs to the Chinese marketplace, and it's a really hard sell because while they may like the beer, it's not beer, it's not lager, because that's a huge. I mean, the largest brewery in the world is this Chinese brewery that only sells to the China market.
And they only do lagers?
And they only do like the Budweiser version of like lager, just the most generic, shittiest lager that you can think of. But it's the workman's drink, and that's what everyone thinks about beer.
Yeah, but we were there 10 or 15 years ago when I started out with this. Mm-hmm. The beer was just a lager, mm-hmm. Medium bitterness. It was.
Well, I mean, 5 years when I went there, there was really just Boxing Cat and Jackie's Beer Nest, and that was it. And every time I go back, I've been back twice now, so this is my third trip to Shanghai. And every time I go back, the beer selection gets a little bit better. The varieties get a little bit better. There's more options. There's more things to try. And I was really quite surprised at the quality and the things that I found there.
But I think the development has been quick anyway in China. It's
everything happens so quick in China.
Because I know a guy who was a traveling businessman, went to China in the 80s, mm-hmm. and they had just sort of opened up their borders. They were trading with the West, mm-hmm. and so he was invited out to dinner one evening, and with the food, they didn't serve wine. They wanted to serve something fancier, so he was served cognac with his food. So, I mean, 30 years ago, they didn't have a concept at all about alcohol and how to utilize it or serve it. And if they have a craft beer culture 30 years later, that's been hell of a development.
I think it's going to go really, really fast. I mean, they are the largest importer of wines in the world, and they're the largest importer of whiskeys in the world. So I think that this is just a matter of time and reestablishing taste and onboarding people into the...
A bit of an education.
It is going to be an education process. And then within the next 3 to 5 years, I'd be willing to bet that it's not even an issue anymore. I ended up going to this one place called Tap 19. It was this really great bar. I tried a coconut milk IPA that was unfreaking believably good. It was so drinkable. I ended up drinking 2 pints.
2 pints of
2 pints of it.
All right.
It was really, really good. And then I had another IPA, a New England IPA, that was also just exceptionally good for, not just for China, not to quantify it, but just a great New England IPA across the board. But what was weird was most of their taps were either Italian. They had a lot of Lover Beer, which is like this sour brewery out of Italy, just south of Milan. And the other place, and other stuff they had was a lot of Latitude 33, which is a U.S. brewery out of, I want to say somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. But I wasn't overly familiar with their stuff.
No, I'm new to them too. So.
Yeah, but I just basically only drink the Chinese beers I could get my hands on because that's what I was mostly interested in. So today we have 2 beers, one from Taste Room, as we said, which is the Osmanthus Wheat Ale, which is a pale, it was a pale American wheat ale, and then the other is the Jing-A IPA. I think it was called Flying Fist IPA. So let's start with the wheat ale because we both decided that this is probably going to be our least favorite. So let's get that out of the way.
No, it's just that the IPA will probably have more flavor.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
so
perfume.
This is it was very perfumey. Very light in color, kind of strawish.
I had an old car when I was very young that smelled something terrible. So you had to have these sort of scented Wunderbaum sort of things hanging from the mirror.
Yeah, I do get your car air freshener reference there. It does kind of have that weird, nondescript car air freshener, kind of like if you're smelling something that says cotton, you're kind of like, sure, that could be whatever flavor they think that is.
What the fuck is cotton? Yeah. I remember distinctly that I had a car freshener smell with watermelon, and this is very similar to it. I'm remembering my old Volvo with love.
But it does have kind of a wheat ale smell to it. I mean, it's...
Do you get banana from it?
A little bit, yeah.
Maybe the fake sort of Easter candy banana.
Yeah, probably. All right, well, cheers.
Cheers, love.
That's a weird one. Because
it smells like candy. I mean, it tastes like candy as well. This is something that you would get out of one of those.
If you put a quarter, or not a quarter, but maybe a kroner in, and you turn a crank, and then some candy falls out, kind of thing.
Something like that, and it's just artificial. I'm sure this isn't all artificial, but it sure tastes like it.
Yeah, this is.
But I do like that candy though. I mean, that stuff you get in the supermarkets where you have to lift like a lid and a clear thing, and you
shovel some out.
Yeah, and probably some kid has been there with his snotty fucking hands an hour before, and you're about to get fucking sick from eating it, but you still do because it's Friday and you're unhappy.
That's right, and you're killing the pain of the week through candy.
Through candy. If you don't have beer, that's how you do it. Apparently, I've heard.
This has a really weird aftertaste.
Yeah, it does.
Like I don't want to say gasoline, but like if you ever had gas fumes in the back of your throat, kind of.
Wait, I'm still. Yeah, maybe. No, you have to have some sort of special receptor for that. I don't get it.
Okay.
But it's just candy beer. Candy
Okay.
beer.
But I'm not loving this.
Well, I'm not loving it.
Not loving it. All right.
I'm cool with it. Maybe there's something here. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't get the. It is a wheat beer, but it's not like the good parts of the wheat beer. It's like a wheat beer almost on the Pilsner side.
Yeah, I see your point.
Because you do get the fruity esters off of it, but it's just, I think it's a little too dry. And it.
But if it had been less dry, it would probably have released more of these artificial flavors.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we should wait for this to warm up a bit.
All right, we'll come back to it. Let's move on to the IPA then, and we can come back. We can circle back around and see how we feel about it.
Maybe.
Okay. So this is the Flying Fist IPA. Comes in at a 6.5% ABV, and it smells very IPA-ish.
Yeah, but still a bit swampy.
It's a bit on the caramel cabbagey side of the IPA world. When you look at it, it is.
Oh, the color's
very
beautiful.
Caramelly looking, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that. I would be very surprised if it doesn't have a caramel backbone to it.
Well, let's find out.
All right.
No, you were right about the caramel.
Yeah, definitely caramel. This kind of reminds me of the type of double IPAs when I first started drinking double IPAs, and I was just like, why do people like double IPAs? They're so weird and caramelly and just taste like bad candy or something. And so I was really turned off to double IPAs for quite some time until I started having good ones. And I was like, oh, this is brilliant. I love double IPAs. And so this kind of reminds me of those early double IPAs I tried that were...
All right, I see your analogy now. Yeah. Yeah, it's not great. It could have used more hops.
A little. It could definitely use more hops. It tastes almost like a burnt caramel flavor.
Like when you caramelize sugar on...
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you take it a little too far.
Yeah. Yes, there's definitely a burnt sort of character to this. Interesting. But the hops are just not there. A double IPA should have hops. Well, how fresh is it? Do you know that?
Well, it's at least 2 weeks old from the moment that I bought it.
Yeah.
And...
Well, 2 weeks doesn't change a lot, but...
No. One of these has a... Let's see if there's anything on the... Nope. And... Any markings on the can?
Best use before...
Let's see, it says... our flagship American IPA is abundantly dry hopped for bursts of tropical fruit, fresh pine, and zesty citrus. Well, they got the pine dankness going on there. A favorite among hopheads, the Flying Fist... Medium bitterness and crisp finish make it our go-to IPA for all occasions.
It doesn't have a crisp finish. Oh my god, I have a conspiracy theory. Do you think that when American IPAs hit the Chinese store shelves, this is what they taste like? So they made one... Oh my god, I'm so onto something here.
So you think because they're old by the time they get to China...
Yeah, this is
what they think IPAs taste like.
I'm not entirely serious about this, but I think I'm onto something here.
You could be. You could have cracked the code. I think that you've figured this out.
So I have to go and consult in China on how to make fresh IPA.
I think so, because I had better IPAs when I was there. I don't think this is a transportation issue. I just think this isn't fresh or crisp or any of the, or citrusy in any way whatsoever. But
if you make an IPA and you mean for it to taste like this, then you have failed. I mean, I get that the hops fade over time, and maybe that is what's happened, but fuck. If you're supposed to make an IPA, you just fucking throw hops at it all that you can. Especially a double IPA.
Yeah. Well, this is only 6.5% is kind of, I don't know what the official demarcation line is between IPA and double IPA, but I think 6.5 does fall into the double IPA.
No, I don't think so. I think you have to be 8.
No, 8's really high. It's really something like 5.6 to 4.5 or something like that.
No, I disagree.
Well, we can look it up later and then figure out what it is.
Yeah, we'll make an extra episode just arguing about this.
We'll follow it. Maybe I'll put something in the show notes. That would be amazing if I did that, but it could happen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen if you're wrong, though. Or is it?
No, if I'm wrong, I'll still put it in what it is. And I think we've looked this up before, but I don't remember what it was. So I'm going to give this a 2.5. I find it lacking on most levels, which is a shame because, like I said, I've really liked Jing-A's stuff in the past that I've tried.
I think I'm a bit nicer about this than you are because I'm still enjoying this as a barley heavy sort of beer.
And give it a year, maybe it turns into a really nice barley wine.
No, it's like a light barley wine to me now. I know I
get that. I definitely get where you're going there.
I did talk smack about this earlier, but if you just forget about the whole IPA part, then
I am getting more of the citrus now than when I first sipped it.
Yeah, good for you.
Like in the aftertaste, like right when you finish, like as it's going down your throat, there's like this little citrus burst.
Yeah, it's tiny, but it's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, I'm actually quite liking this, and I will finish it. Sorry, listeners, you're just gonna have to listen to me drink this beer.
All right.
No, but so I'm a bit nicer to this. I say this is 3.5.
3.5?
Oh, out of 5. Not
all right. I guess I'll give it 2.75. I do like it now that it's opening up a little bit more. I am getting more of the citrus off of it, which is kind of what I'm really wanting out of a IPA. Citrus
and some mowed lawn.
Yeah. It is missing on the grassiness. You do get the caramel.
Yeah.
The bit of citrus. So it just feels like a very old school double IPA.
Sorry for taking command now, but I would like to go back to the pale ale.
I was just about to say, let's jump back to the pale ale. The American wheat pale ale, and let's see.
It's even candier now.
The banana-iness is developing much more.
Is that a word?
It is today.
Cool.
Yep, still don't like it. So,
but I like both these for very different reasons. But you just gotta forget about what they call themselves.
No, I'm not even thinking about it as a wheat ale. I'm just thinking as a general beer. I just don't like it.
But it's like, I know you know this, Ahlgrens bilar in liquid form.
I could see the bilar in liquid form. It does have that kind of bubblegum flavor to it.
And you know what's not to like about that? I'm Swedish. It's our pastime to just, we love this.
All right. Well, I'm going to give this a 2 because I'm thoroughly not enjoying it on any level.
Yeah, Americans.
I can't argue with that one.
Yeah, I can always use that. I love that.
Yeah, Americans. You're like, well, that's probably true too. And so, what would you give this?
I would actually score this quite high. Maybe I'm being boring now, but a 3.5 for this as well.
All right. Well, there you go. Once again, thank you for joining us on the threepeat of your triumphant return to the show. Again, you're welcome anytime to join us for beer reviews.
Are you kidding me? Free beer? Anytime.
Yeah, that's why we have guests. And you can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com. Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. Yeah, those are the ones. So until next time, keep drinking your dum-dums.